Right, hi, welcome to part 7 of this Hexi Cardi Crochet along. We've worked on the width, now we're going to work on the length. Now if you remember from part 3, we worked out what length we needed by measuring it. So we also should have written down how many rows we need to do. So I need to do 10. So I'm going to start over here. Doesn't matter which side you start because it's going to go backwards, forwards. We're going to start in this bottom corner here. We're just going to, I fold the yarn in half, pop it over the hook, pull it through, and then I just chain. So we need to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to whack 2 doubles in there to make a cluster. 1, 2, hold that bit down if you can. 3. And then into the next space, we're going to whack another cluster. 1. I'm holding this Hexi Cardi a bit weirdly for you. Sorry, I'll turn it around. There you go. So then you've got 1, 2. And then you just keep going all the way to the end. You do not do any corners on this one because we're just adding to the length. So no corners. I'll show you what to do when you do get to the corner. I'll meet you there. 3 in that one. Then we've got a cluster in this one and we're nearly at the corner. So just whack a cluster in there. And then when we get to the corner, we just do 1 cluster. So 1, 2, 3. And then we chain 3 and we turn. And then all we do is work back into the next chain space. So back along here, 1, 2, 3, 1. And you work all the way across to the other side, but we don't do the corner. When we do the corner, we just do a cluster, but I will meet you at the other side. Now we're approaching the end of the second row, so we're going to put a cluster in here. A cluster in here, and then we are going to put a double into the top of the original chain, just like that. And then we are going to chain 3 and turn. So what we should be doing here, look, is just adding, probably just undone that, but it's fine. We're just adding to the length. You can see the extra rows adding on here. You shouldn't see any more up here. You can just see the extra rows adding on here. So you need to keep going until the required length. I've got 8 more rows to make my 10. And I will see you when we get to the end of those 10 or however long you need. And so here I am, almost at the end of my 10th row. So we're going to whack a cluster in here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to whack a cluster in there, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to whack a cluster in there, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to whack a double in there. There we go. Right, what I will say, I've made a mistake on mine, but I'm not frogging it. But just make sure you get your clusters where they need to be. That should have been a cluster because it's a chain space. For whatever reason, I've missed it, but as you can see, it does make a difference. So what we need to do now is fasten off. Oops. We're going to fasten off. Snip, snip. There we go. And I just, at the beginning of my 10 rows, I put a stitch marker in here so that I knew when my rows started, so that when I counted, I just counted from here rather than working out where it was from there. But yeah, there's a nice little tip. But you can see, got a nice straight edge here and a bit of a wonky edge there. But like I say, I'm going to live with it. I could have frogged it all the way back, but that would have been quite a few rows. Anyway, I hope you have fun, and I will catch you next week for part 8, which will be making our arms longer.